We are, of course, continuing to track the big story. A major train accident was averted in the early hours of Sunday after an LPG cylinder was found on the rail tracks near the Perambur railway station in the Kanpur district of Uttar Pradesh. The cylinder was spotted ahead of a goods train and prompted the Loco pilot to apply the brakes just in time, therefore averting the tragedy. Not just in Kanpur, Punjab's Batinda also saw a similar incident of sabotage as the government railway police spotted 9 iron rods placed on the tracks of the Delhi-Batinda Express later on the same day. Late in the night, another tragedy was averted after a freight train hit 2 cement blocks weighing 70 kilograms each placed on the tracks in Rajasthan's Ajmer. Viewers, these are 3 attempts to sabotage, all occurring on the same day. What's shocking is not just the fact that these incidents are occurring, but also the frequency at which these incidents are occurring. As per the Indian Railways, there have been 18 attempts to derail trains across the country since August. As per reports, there have been 24 such accidents from June 2023 till date, with authorities finding various kinds of objects placed on rail tracks, including LPG cylinders, bicycles, iron rods and cement blocks. This marks the 4th incident in September where unidentified miscreants have attempted to derail trains. As per reports, majority of these incidents took place in UP, while the rest were reported from Punjab, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and Telangana. All these incidents just prompt one to ponder on who is behind the attack on the railways. Who are these miscreants and what is their underlying agenda which is prompting them to wage a war on our country's railways? What is it that's making them act in this manner, and on whose directions are they doing this? Major General Loco Sivach, defense expert, is joining us live. Major General Dhruv Katoch, Director India Foundation, is also live with us. Sudhanshu Mani, creator Train 18, is also live with us. N.K. Sood, former RAW officer, also joins the broadcast. Welcome all of you and thank you for being with us today. Let me make a start with you first, Sudhanshu Mani. What do you make of these shocking incidents, coming all on one particular day, that is yesterday?
Yes. So, some of the recent incidents like Kanpur, in Kanpur, that placement of cylinder itself was not so dangerous, but there was also a petrol bomb kind of thing next to it. Then there were milestones placed on the DFC track near Ajmer, and yesterday's cases. If you go through the list of 24 you just mentioned, to which these 2-3 would be added, it includes cases of stone pelting, protests, murder of run-over cases of RPF, murder of a station master and all kinds of cases. So it's not as if all 24 are cases where objects were placed on the track. I'm nobody to say whether it is sabotage or not. It's the job of intelligence agencies. All I can say is that whether it is juvenile criminality, pranks or whatever else, it's all criminal act. It's all a criminal act and they should be investigated by investigating agency and not left to RPF alone. And by now we should be wise to something or the other because this has been going on for some time. So I'm not aware of findings of investigating agency as such. I'll only say there is no reason for panic as such. And I say it with technical responsibility here. These objects, most of them, except as I said 2-3 cases, would not derail a train. It indicates to cases of, juvenile criminality or pranks, but intelligence agencies must do their job because there were reports also that some sleeper cells of terrorist groups were also active. So we should wait for the investigating agencies to find out. Railways on their own have to improve their patrolling and maybe ask the running staff, the crew to be more cautious. But it's not possible for railways alone to avert these cases. It has to be done in association with intelligence agencies. Patrolling alone cannot solve it. It has to be associated with intense intelligence to find out as to what is being done. But as I said, there is no reason to panic. Looking at the nature of these cases, some of them are certainly pranks. I can't say same about all of them. So we will wait for the reports of intelligence agencies.
Major Loco Sivach, do you believe that there is a pattern to it? Because these are not isolated incidents. As I said, all of these have happened on one particular day, but it's not just that yesterday was the only day this happened. It's been seen before. It's been seen again and again. Do you believe there's a pattern to it?
Yeah, Uttar, no doubt. You see, in last about year and a half, there are about 50 cases which are taken place. And this can't be by default. It is a design which is set up, and we have to read it in between the lines. These are all sabotage case. Now remember, what need to be done is that there are number of sleeper cell and overground workers which are there in these places, and they try to derail. What is their aim? Their aim is to sabotage. Their aim is to create an accident type situation. So in case if they put an IDs, they have to store it, they have to be deducted. Now this new technique of putting a LPG cylinder or putting an iron rod or putting a cement block, which will also meet the same sort of result, because their aim is to create panic and their aim is to damage the railway property and also create a havoc in the society. So I suppose that it has not to be taken lightly. This is very much by design, and this is a sabotage, and this is being done by overground worker and sleeper cell. And we wake up this, because the point is it is happening too very often. And my another issue is that we have to now make sure that we improve our intelligence. No doubt in last about more than 10 years, no major incident has taken place, because our NIA has been very, very proactive, and before all these elements can act, they have been nabbed. And also our intelligence which has been now at the state level and the central level, and their coordination is paying off. But the way the quotas incidents which are coming to limelight are quite puzzling, and this will alert the security forces, and we need to now make our patrolling slightly much more proactive. Their requirement of patrolling done by railway police force or the local police also. As a citizen, we have to be very alert. Drones must be utilized. Artificial intelligence must be made use of it. All in all, this is not a individual case. It is not a prank. It is a serious institution which is being hurt, and we know that why they are doing it. They are feeling it that Indian Railway is progressing rapidly, the country is progressing, and this is what the ISI will not like. And that's why all these looking cases, if you see them, that there is a pattern which has been set. It is nothing else but a case of sabotage, and this is happening more in some states rather than the other states. You have to read all issues, but I suppose we are now very serious on this. We have to take preemptive measures. We have to be much cautious to ensure that no accident take place. So far we have been luckier. So far we have been also keeping an surveillance. But I suppose as the things are unfolding, we have to be more serious today, and we have to see in future that those who are behind this, those ISI agents and overground worker and sleeper cell, need to be nabbed at the earliest. Uday.
Major General Dhruv Katoch, let me draw you quickly in here as well on your analysis of what really is transpiring. I mean, in these particular cases, there were literally bombs on the track, if we can, call it that. But this is very, very concerning. It seems that someone is targeting the Indian Railways. Who that is now something we need to investigate, isn't it, Major General Katoch?
Thank you, Uday. Uday, I'll make my position very clear. This is a deliberate, coordinated attempt at sabotage. The aim is to derail not just the Indian Railways, the aim is to derail India. Now, I agree with Mr. Sood when he says that there is no need to panic. Yes, there is no need to panic. Where I disagree is where he says that some of these could have been pranks. There cannot be a prank which can derail a train which will lead to 50 to 100 dead and a few hundred injured. That is not a prank. That is not a prank. That is enemy action. And I think we have to view it as an act done by the enemy to sabotage India, and it has to be responded to accordingly. That very famous film, James Bond film Goldfinger, where the statement goes, if it happens once, it's happenstance, twice is a coincidence, and third time is enemy action. Now, this is not once or twice. This has happened multiple times. We've had cylinders placed there. We've had stones placed there. We've had young children doing it to make it look like a prank. It is not a prank. It is a policy. We've had explosives placed there. We've had an army convoy which was moving by train where the accident was averted. Now this is unacceptable. So I think we need to take very, very drastic action at the policy level. And there are three things which I would recommend. One, I presume, is already going on. That is beefing up the intelligence agencies and finding out who actually is behind this. So I presume that action is on. But simultaneously, I feel two other actions need to take place. One, all encroachments astride the railway tracks, all of them, 100% across the country, must be removed. That is where the problems start. Regardless of who are the encroachers, it is not a communal affair. It is not something to do with the rich and the poor. It has something to do with the nation's security, and they must be removed. Number two, the RPF now needs to be empowered and armed. Any person attempting a sabotage or seen to be attempting a sabotage, like putting a gas cylinder, he must be shot at sight. And I'm serious about it. There is no questions of warning. This is a terrorist act. It must be taken as a terrorist act and responded to with full force. Once that message goes across, that will act as a deterrence to the people who are attempting this. I'm afraid if we remain a soft state, we have been lucky so far, as General Sabotage has stated. We won't be lucky all the time. We will have accidents, we will have train derailments, we will have hundreds of people dying. And I do not think that is an appropriate response to simply accept something like that lying down. It has to be responded to with force, and the time to respond to is now. Uday.
Okay, let me take that quickly across to NK Sood as well, former officer who joins us live. NK Sood, there clearly is a pattern. This is a targeted attempt. Say our previous speakers, do you agree with them? What must we do going forward? And also, what do you make of the pattern that has suddenly emerged of these attempts to target railway tracks?
Actually, it's a pattern. My knowledgeable predecessors have made all the things clear. Now I will come to a different point. Faratullah Gori, a Pakistan ISA agent, he had warned India, we will derail your trains. He appealed to his cadres, based in India, destroy their supply channel. So it's a systematically attack on India and by the ISI, and it's not ISI alone. CIA is behind them. When elections were being held in India, ISI people, they started sending their militants into India, or rather the army people were there. And they were not alone, because they had been told by CIA to do that. If today there is violence in Manipur, drones have been given to them, they are given by China, arms have been given by China, but the money has come from the USA, from the CIA. CIA was totally involved in our elections, to disturb these elections. They didn't want that Modi should come, because Modi had been saying too many things, we will reach the number third in our economy will be at number 3, because these countries, they do not want to see India strong India, whether it's China or the US. Pakistan, of course, they are there. So all these attacks are being carried out by the ISI at the behest of the CIA. And secondly, the issue that has come up in Bangladesh. Bangladesh government was removed from power by the CIA, not by anybody else. They have come out in the open, they have said that we removed her. Now, the thing is that we have the longest border with Bangladesh, 4,097 kilometers of border. There are also a terrorist by the name Jamshuddin Rahmani. He also warned India that we will destroy your system. We will ask China to cut off northeast from the rest of India. We will ask Pakistan to act with us on Kashmir. We will ask Taliban to come on our support. And recently, a professor in Bangladesh, she said, we will ask Pakistan, you should approach Pakistan and ask them to give their nuclear arms to us. So the system that is being targeted against India, to weaken India. Because India is developing fast, India is becoming a major power in the world, India is spending too much money on their defense, protection of their defense forces and to strengthen their defense. So even PM Modi went to the US. US made sure that India's NSA doesn't go there, doesn't reach there. But PM Modi, I am given to understand, has talked to certain people in the US to ask their agencies to be a bit softer towards India. Today, if Pakistan or Pakistan ISI is active against India, it is at the behest of the CIA, If the militants and the Pakistan ISA, they have been encouraged, they know that India cannot take or will not take any surgical strike against Pakistan at this juncture. So they are a bit not concerned about any security threat from India. But of course, India is doing its job. As far as the question is that our agencies are doing there, our agencies are well aware of what is happening, who is behind this, and who is doing that. And especially I have seen certain videos, where small children, they were trying to disturb take out fish plates, because they know if the minor child he indulges in certain things, no strong action will be taken against him. Whether it is stone pelting, whether it's Manipur, whether it's railway, it's being done in a systematic way. Because today we are surrounded from all sides, whether it's Pakistan, whether Bangladesh or China, or even our northeast. We are doing a lot of things. We are taking care. Railways has been warned. Railways has been strengthened. You see, when the BJP government came to power in 2014, there were 1 lakh bridges, which were more than 100 years old. They have all been repaired. Railway crossings, they have been rectified. Wherever there was unmanned railway track which were unmanaged, or railway crossings, they have made underground passes below them. So government is doing that. Government is doing a lot of things, but still lot is to be done. And I am sure that we will have to bear with the situation for some time. And our agencies and our security forces will be able to catch the militants, catch the people who are behind it, and proper action will be taken. As one of my predecessors said, the people who are sitting near the railway lines, they should be targeted.
Yes, Sudhanshu Mani, come in here on what you believe is the motive of those who are doing this. Who do you believe is perhaps behind this, and what should now be the steps taken perhaps going forward?
Okay, so I heard other panelists, and it's a serious issue. Nobody is denying that. It's 4th month. They said June onwards there have been 18 or 19. If you add 2-3 cases, more than 20 cases. 4 months have passed, and what have we found out so far? Isn't it important? And Uday, I'll request you to go through that list which IR has issued. At least they should have a focus list. That list has cases of station master getting attacked by hooligans, protests, stone pelting protests and things like that. Please make it focused and then go into a proper investigation. If it is really this serious, which it appears to be, by now we should have some knowledge as to what's happening from the intelligence. I'm nobody to say as to who's doing it and so on. It's the job of the investigating agencies. But I will definitely advise you to go through that list which IR has issued. It will be quite an eye opener for you. There are certainly 5-6 cases which are very serious, and we are awaiting the findings. And I'm sure railways have issued instructions for enhanced patrolling in those areas, and not only patrolling by gangmen but also patrolling by railway protection force, which is not done unless it is done in a focused manner. So this is all I would like to say at this point.
Yes. Okay. Let me take that to Major General Sivach as well. Major General Sivach, immediate steps for security, what should be taken short term?
Very correct. See, Uday, first of all, one must understand that very correctly what brought out by Jana Katod. One is whatever encroachment is taking place on the railway land very close to the railway track, remove them immediately, because these are the hub center from where all these actions are taking place. The second thing, the railway police force, absolutely correct. They should be given full powers of the police. I suppose they don't have that much power as much as the local police is there, where they can arrest it even outside the railways line and all. So that has to be given. Third, make use of drones. The drones are very, very important in the areas which you feel they are vulnerable railway track. Fourth thing is your intelligence has to be now tightened. The local intelligence has to work now in coordination with the state and the central intelligence. The NIA has to coordinate much more with the state government, and the state government has to have a much more intelligence at the lower level. That constable, beat constable, which will make important. Also, we have to make sure that we educate the public. The public must also aware that if there is an incident of such type of taking place, they must immediately intimate. Why they are doing this? If you have a ID, you have explosive, you may be exposed very fast. But if you have a LPG cylinder or cement block and the iron rod, placed on a railway track will do the same thing. In case your train is derailed, it will ensure that the accident take place. So therefore you have to be very careful on any foreign object which are taking place toward the railway line, and for that the intelligence has to work. The local intelligence is very important, because there are overground worker and sleeper cell are functioning. As per one report, 80,000 overground worker and sleeper cell has been recruited in last about 6 months. The PFI is also working on that. ISI is working. We must take it seriously. This is not one of those cases which you can consider that these are pranks or these are action done by the innocent young children. This is very planned operation which is being done on the behest of ISI. They are overground workers, they are sleeper cell, and they feel the railway are the easy target, and the railways are the one which are contributing maximum in making the India from 5th largest economy to the 3rd largest economy in another 3-4 years. And therefore this is the target, and this is a very well thought out plan which is being made by ISI, possibly in the behest of the Chinese also, and they are making sure that we have number of accidents in certain places where you find a demographic pattern may be different, or where you find that it is easy to do because there the railway lines are not being sort of patrolled, or they find that that area is going through a forested area where you think that the patrolling will be not there. So overall I will say 3 things need to be done immediately, Uday. One is the patrolling has to be increased. Second thing is power to be given to the railway police force, encroachment to be removed, drones must be utilized, and 5th thing is more coordination between the central, the state as well as the local level intelligence agency. Uday.
Yes, let me in fact also get in Major General Katoch for quick action plan, Major General Katoch, for the security agencies and the government. What should be done short term to ensure that passenger safety is prioritized and these devious designs do not succeed?
Uday, I think it is very important to impose deterrence. Without deterrence, there will be people who will carry it out, and Indian laws are very soft, especially towards underage children. So if a person is not an adult, it is very, very difficult in our present system to sort of charge sheet that chap and treat him or charge him as an adult. And they are the ones who are being used. I mean, I've seen those videos where this small little kid was putting stones along the railway track, and he made it look as if, it's for fun. It is not for fun. That chap has been radicalized. He's a radical, and it is being done, of course, at the behest of somebody else, but the individual doing it knows what he is doing. So I would recommend there must be legislation to say that any act designed to upset the movement of rail traffic by placement of anything on the railway tracks or by interfering with the fish plates will be treated as an act of terror, and the individual will be tried as an adult even if that individual is 10 years old. I mean, we have to start with that. Get away that child thing business. So that, okay, बच्चा है, उसको छोड़ दो. उसको आप नहीं छोड़ सकते हो. He's a little boy, he may be a little terrorist, as far as I'm concerned. And secondly, make it very clear to the public by advertisements and all that, any act will be resorted to with the use of force. And we are not going to, to caution that person, okay, put up your hands or something. It has to be a model by which you shoot first. Somebody is interfering with the fish plates, shoot him, shoot her, shoot whoever that individual is. Otherwise, they will get emboldened. And today we have got just a few cases. Tomorrow there will be 100 cases, then there will be 1,000 cases, and many of them will succeed. So I don't think that's going to work. The intelligence agencies, I'm quite sure they are doing their job, and I've got no doubts about that. So I don't want to comment on that. But from the legislative side, there must be some legislation put across, and from the security forces side, those instructions must be given, and not just given, they must be advertised and across that place. I've already said remove the encroachments. I see no reason why the encroachments are there. Back to you there.
Okay, NK Sood, quick closing comments from you on the short term and the long term action plan.
Actually, short-term action is if you talk of long-term action, as my predecessors have said, along the railway tracks, All the people who are sitting there should be removed there. Of course, there were case in Uttarakhand when people were sitting on they had built their houses on the railway track and they wanted to clear that. Supreme Court intervened. So this kind of interference is unwarranted.
Not acceptable.
Let agencies are doing their job excellently. I know they are very serious about it. And whatever is happening now on the railways, our cooperation, most cooperation is required from the local, state level agencies. But when there's a opposition government, they don't cooperate. I'm telling you frankly, this is happening in Bangladesh, West Bengal. Local police don't cooperate because there are different kind of directions from them. And now I would like to say, add one more thing. Rahul Gandhi had recently went to the USA. Where did he go? Who invited him? It's the CIA. And there he visited Walsh School of Foreign Service, SFS at Georgetown, which is CIA's spy factory. And from this spy factory, majority of professors are on the rail of Muslim Brotherhood, and they have links with Al Jazeera, and also they have links with India's militant groups. Nothing more to say. If we get the cooperation from the opposition, situation will come down to normalcy very soon. But anyway, government is doing there, they know it, and they will be able to tackle this problem very soon.